Hello everybody, One Clue here. Thanks for joining in. Today we are in a slightly different setup. Today we have a guest here, or I'm a guest of yours. We are sitting here in your garden, lovely. You are the co-founder, or one of the co-founders of Opago, and today's session shall be all about your company, what you do, why you exist, and what's even going on with this, why you are needed. So, would you mind to introduce yourself quickly?
Yes, my name is Michael. I'm one of the co-founders of Opago. My job at Opago is actually taking care of sales, marketing and partnerships. And yeah, thanks for having me.
Lovely. All right. So now that we know who you are, what exactly are you doing besides for marketing and sales partnerships with Opago?
So, Opago is a startup and we focus on Bitcoin Lightning payments for merchants. So our idea was to really create a service or create a product that a merchant can really accept Bitcoin Lightning payments at the point of sale without much hustle. So that was the primary goal of Opago, and obviously we keep on working on different things to even make it easier and more understandable for even more no-coiners.
Maybe a little bit of a critical question for you, but why exactly do you think there's another company needed for enabling payments with Bitcoin for people or merchants? What differentiates Opago from all these other terminals that already exist?
So obviously there's fiat US terminals where you're not able to accept Bitcoin payments right now, so they're just possible to use for credit and debit card. And of course you can accept Bitcoin payments directly in your wallet, but there's transaction and tax reporting missing. So our idea was it really to have like a solution also to accept Bitcoin from a legal point of view, so also that you've got all the taxes and transaction details, timestamp, satoshis in euro, that everything is really right for the process accounting purposes afterwards. But that was our main goal. Obviously there's different ways to accept Bitcoin payments. There's also app providers out there, and I think it's as more providers out there as better, as more Bitcoin merchant adoption we've got, as better it will be for the ecosystem. And for us, we are just another solution for shop owners or for businesses where the owner maybe is not in the shop all the day or all the time, and the employees, they're not really into Bitcoin yet, so they've really got an easy solution just to put in the local fiat amount and then to receive the payment directly in the business's wallet, so of the business owner's wallet. So
This sounds quite interesting. So your main goal is not only to provide a maybe Lightning or Bitcoin or on-chain process of enabling payments with Bitcoin, but more like having this all-in-one solution, not only the payment side, but also for the accounting and tax side, right?
exactly. So what we really thought, accepting Bitcoin payments, there's loads of trouble, or not trouble, but hustle around, people are maybe a bit frightened about it, but it's not much needed, In the end of the day, you just have some stuff to take care of, that you obviously need to have the right price, Bitcoin price, when you receive the payment. This needs to be on a sheet of paper, obviously with the metadata of your business, that you can then give it to your tax consultant for further accounting purposes. And yeah, it's not much for that, but also obviously you can run your own node to accept Bitcoin payments, but you don't have to. So we really try to make it as easy as possible, because we've got loads of merchants. They might get up at 6 a.m., go to the wholesale market, close the shop at 10 p.m., and there's just no time to run an own node. So it's really just to be focused on, to have it really easy for the merchant to start accepting it. There shouldn't be big problems to get into it.
Yeah, I think that's really a good point, especially running your own node and maintaining it, opening, closing channels, maintaining these channels, especially talking here about Lightning, could be an issue, especially for somebody whose business is especially something else, right? So you offer this all-in-one solution where people can use such a terminal, and we will get into that in just a second, and then just don't care about it. It's just another payment solution, like you swipe in your credit card and you go ahead.
Exactly.
So it's a simple solution, lovely.
Yeah.
Would you mind actually showing us quickly how this works? Because for the audience, maybe to you to understand, this is not only some sort of an online thingy, it is for on the go in the shop. So it is a physical product, and it's not on your website or something else. It's a physical product. You can actually touch it, you can put some numbers in there, and then people can scan it, right?
Exactly. So very easy, let's say you've got a restaurant or something, and you've got a customer visiting, and he had food for, let's say, 50 euros. You just put in the local fiat amount, let's say 50 euros, press enter, and you receive the QR code, and obviously the person who can pay can now take any Lightning enabled wallet to pay this invoice right at the point of sale, and the incoming payment is directly forwarded to the merchant's account, so there's no possibilities for theft or anything else. And yeah, it's a very easy to use POS device, and yeah.
It's also a little bit attracting, especially with the color, right?
Exactly, that was our idea. We believe Bitcoin has to be tangible, so it's digital, and we needed to be able to touch it, and that was obviously one reason to have it orange, because most of the POS devices out there are black or white,
Yeah.
and that's something obviously which
It's a little bit more appealing, yeah.
stands out. The customer might ask, why is it orange? We really need as much marketing attention for Bitcoin as possible. So that's why we thought we had the idea to launch it in orange as well.
So some people in the Lightning space may use something like NFC cards. Is this also supported by this product?
Yes, we've got like an NFC chip just below here, so you can directly pay using your QR code, Lightning wallet, or you can also use a Bolt card, just put it underneath.
Oh, that's lovely. So it's as easy as like only holding your card in front of it or scanning it on your phone. Is there something that's not supported with this system? Like, do you have any restrictions or anything like that?
No, actually, just the only thing what we need is a Lightning address to pay out. So we are non-custodial. That means, for setting up the terminal, you need already a wallet, or you have to decide if you would like to receive euros, because then you would need to make an account with our partner Bringin, and then you can also receive these incoming payments directly in euro in a couple of seconds.
So you said every wallet is accepted with this, so you don't have any sort of restriction. And you quickly pointed out that what you need in order to use this is your own wallet. So you're non-custodial. You're not in charge of those sets.
Exactly, and also the merchant can decide if he would like to use a self-custodial or non-custodial solution Lightning wallet. Just bear in mind, when you have got a self-custodial Lightning wallet or Lightning node, then you need to take care of inbound liquidity. Otherwise, we're not able to forward this payment. But if you use a normal wallet of Satoshi, Blink, or something else, there's no problem for us to really route that payment directly into the merchant's wallet in a couple of seconds.
Maybe a little bit on the terms of some sort of technical stuff here, but how high are the fees? Is this worse than any other solution?
No, actually, it's just a 1% transaction fee to receive Bitcoin Lightning payments into your wallet, and it's including like the dashboard, the transaction reporting, as well as the device costs one time 99 euros, but then it's the merchant's device, so there's no contracts or any strings attached. We really want to have like an easy way without much hustle for the merchant to get into it, and it has to be transparent as well. So we really need to gain trust more with that Bitcoin thing in the business world, and I believe it has to be transparent, tangible, and easy to understand to reach that.
It sounds lovely, especially talking about it, how easy it is to use. And you said, so the merchant do have a fee of 1%, which is quite okay in my opinion. We see different percentage fees on MasterCard, Visa, stuff like this. They tend to go down these days, but they're still high compared to Bitcoin. And I'm just thinking about it. What is your most selling point to these merchants? Why do you think merchants actually need such a device?
Well, there's different points actually. Obviously, when you look into different industries or branches, business always are on the lookout for new customers, for new, young, maybe tech-savvy customers, and accepting another form of payment, for example, Bitcoin, is the same if you would accept American Express to address business customers for, let's say, business lunches, So that's obviously something you can take into your business to even generate more incoming revenue through new customers, but also be very innovative. And there's, I believe, no other marketing initiative which could be as cheap as Opago, implementing Opago to really show your customers that you're going with the time, Again, say it without any strings attached, there's no contracts or something, and you can just easily start accepting Bitcoin at the point of sale in a couple of minutes.
So this is the device of the merchant. It's not yours. It doesn't belong no longer to you. Let's ask you this question. Is this device open source?
So the terminal, the device itself isn't open source. The software behind, of course, our dashboard, everything is open source.
All right, I think that's fair enough for a business to actually have the software open source, but not the device itself, which is totally fine. So in theory, everybody could change the firmware, adjust it, and maybe create something new out of it, right?
Of course, you could also run your own node behind it, so you're not obviously exclusively bounded with the Opago, so you can also just get the device, run your own node behind it, don't need our service as well, but we really focused on having like a simple, fast solution for merchants who don't really have time doing all that, For Bitcoiners who really want to run their own node, obviously there's also possibilities for that, but they might also use existing hardware they've got already, they might use their own phone, so yeah.
It's lovely, that's lovely. All right, so now that we do know this and that you actually can do with this device whatever you want, how do I set this up? Maybe you could lay this out in like 3 or 4 easy steps. How do you actually implement this and then use it for me as a merchant, as an example?
Of course. So first, obviously, you need that device as a merchant. There's 2 ways of obtaining it. So the first would be to order it directly from our website, and the second would be to get it through one of our partners, like UX, for example. So we've got some partners in Germany and Europe who help merchants locally setting it up or reselling the device to them. And that's the two possibilities to obtaining it in the first place. And afterwards, you go on opago.com, set up your dashboard, you put your company's information, address, street name, VAT number, but that's not needed. You can put it in what you would need it for the right tax transaction report, but we don't have any KYC in place right now. And after setting it up, you just need to connect that terminal with your dashboard, and after 2 minutes, the device knows every invoice which now is getting invoiced through the terminal is directly forwarded to the merchant's designated wallet.
So now that we do know this, is this device, and you're obviously a German company founded in Bavaria, is this tied to Europe or Germany specifically, or can you purchase and obtain this and use this overseas in the US? Maybe some of you are interested in this, and we will get into the section of how you can actually obtain this later on if you're interested in that. So is there any restriction of which country do you use or accept or sell these to?
So currently we were focused on Europe, but obviously you can also use it outside of Europe, but not with our Lightning as a service. So we're there just for offering the hardware, so you need to run your own node, everything behind that if you would like just to use the device. But we've obviously spoken to the regulator. We're currently in the certification process to the crypto asset service provider license within MiCA in Europe. So we're currently focused on Europe, but we've already got loads of requests from South America, from Africa. So we're obviously planning and looking into that to even expand further.
It's good to hear. So I'd say you will expand in the future and you will grow with that and hopefully be able to provide this terminal and this servers to more than only the European Union.
Yes.
All right, let's dive into the section of which kind of merchants already do use this terminal. Can you give us some examples?
Of course. So we actually brought out the terminal 2 days before Christmas last year, and obviously due to Christmas times there wasn't much sales possible because everyone was in ski or winter holidays, but just after we started really growing quite rapidly. So we've got already onboarded over 100 merchants in Europe. So we've got merchants in Spain, Austria, Poland or Switzerland, for example.
So this terminal is tied specifically for Lightning payments and not on-chain. How come that you now created this device and offer this service instead of doing this a couple of years ago? Why now?
I personally been in Bitcoin or in the rabbit hole since 2016, and that time it wasn't possible to really have these Lightning transactions done because simply there was no Lightning at this time. So in 2016 I was working for American Express, so I knew the payment things a little bit. I've seen big fees which merchants have to pay to accept Bitcoin payments, and I thought obviously not to accept fiat payments. That was the beginning for me to look into the topic. But a couple of years then into that, it was still the same. I saw it like as a store of value, but it wasn't really easy transferred as well as like at the point of sale. You've got that limitation of transactions per second on the main chain, and then obviously you can't use it at the point of sale very good because when you need to pay in a supermarket and the transaction is getting queued, you cannot just wait. And Lightning really made Bitcoin completely usable for me, also possibly usable for mass adoption because now you're able to really use it like cash. It's actually the same.
You can now just go in the store, scan the QR code, pay, and you go off.
It's done, and there's nothing more to it. It's just really fast, easy, secure, accepting Bitcoin payments as well as paying with it. You've got your wallet on your phone and you just scan the QR code and it's done. You're out of the shop.
And also maybe this is some sort of a critical conversation, but also this privacy term is a little bit more increased compared to when you pay with your credit card, because the merchant no longer has all your information as long as you don't provide them to them, right?
Exactly.
You just pay and you go off.
Exactly.
You don't need to put in where you live, what you purchase, whatever.
Exactly. So obviously we're not sending any information to any kind of regulator right now. So obviously we don't know anything about the payee.
Even if you would need to, you couldn't, because you don't know the person behind the Lightning wallet who's paying you.
Exactly. So there's always a big level of security or privacy with Lightning. Also from a merchant perspective, obviously there's industries which really like privacy. Obviously there's definitely a big demand for Bitcoin Lightning, yeah.
So I do have one last question for you, and this is, and I hope this is critical and the audience get it as critical. Do you try or do you will implement any other coin or token in the future with the system, or will you strictly be with Bitcoin?
So we believe Bitcoin is like the superior cryptocurrency, and from our perspective, we hear that there's other coin projects building atomic swaps or other swaps to actually use Lightning, but we will stick on that our merchants will receive Bitcoin Lightning, or if they desire Euro, because they have to due to business circumstances. But from our perspective, we are Bitcoin Lightning, and there might be obviously stable coins, stable sats or something in the future, which makes it even more possible for even a bigger audience to then pay using Opago and our merchant receiving Bitcoin Lightning in the end.
All right. Thank you for having me. Thank you for
Thank you.
being here with me and answering all these questions. If you are now in the audience interested in receiving such a terminal and enabling your business to have Bitcoin Lightning payments, then you will find a link in the description down below, or down here on the screen you will find an email address. Just hit me up. I'm one of the Opago partners who brings people and merchants and businesses to Bitcoin and Bitcoin Lightning, and I'm happy to help. So thanks for being here. Thank you for being and having me.
You're welcome.
And see you next time.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.